Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Scott with the Birds Fucking Cold podcast. I'm currently holding a microphone to my hand. My hand is okay. Jesus, you get the picture. So if you hear some, that's what it is. Anyway, we are first and foremost sponsored by Many Visions Apparel, and it's run by my good friend Bobby Cochran, who has basically been on the podcast a lot, several times. And basically we're coming together to bring you some amazing products, or for me to inform you of his products, because they're awesome. They have a wide array of clothing, from sweatshirts to hats, pins, glasses, you name it, they probably have it. And, I love this product because it's stylish, it's cool, it's hip, it's everything you need in one. And, I love their custom stickers. I love the custom glassware they have. They have amazing glasses to drink out of, so those are amazing. And then, of course, their apparel, their shirts, all are made by several different artists, and then including some big name ones such as Chris Dyer, Luke Brown, Mugwort, and more. The store was founded in 2013, and they believe in helping everyone in the community and the world, and just being a clean store, for the world. Every time I talk to Bobby, he's always about what they can do to help the community. They're always a part of fundraisers. They're always a part of anything going on that would help. And that's what their company is all about. And you can find them at Many Visions Apparel in Mandan, North Dakota. I believe they just closed the kiosk in the mall, so they're not there in Bismarck right now. Also, you can find them at manyvisionsapparel.com, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, you can find them. So yeah, that's our one sponsor, so check that out. Anyway, this podcast was super special to me because this is a guy I've always heard about. I've seen him a few times, and he's like an enigma to me until I got to know him a little bit. And we'll have several more podcasts. This is kind of like an introduction, again, to somebody I haven't really met before. And he welcomed me into his home. We sat down for about an hour and 40-some minutes and had a great time just talking. Anyway, this is Richard Loewen. He's an amazing musician, business owner, entrepreneur. He's thinking about starting his own podcast soon. They're recording a CD. You can find him on Facebook if you're interested in his music. It's amazing. He didn't get to showcase he didn't get to showcase his music this time, but we'll get him to do it next time. Anyway, this is the Birds Fucking Cold podcast with Richard Loewen. Have a good time. Enjoy. Yeehaw!
It's fucking cold.
The unofficial North Dakota Boredom Podcast.
Yep, I think he uses we're live, by the way, so we're going. And the computer's on. What's up, everybody? Why am I looking at that computer? Jesus. This thing. So yeah, man, what's up? How's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
Not too bad. I have with me Richard Loewen. Dude, I've been trying to get you on this for a minute. I've asked you before, but only like on random occurrences when I see you.
Yeah.
Like at the drink, of course, is how we set this up. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Natalie for putting us together on the same, set that night. That was awesome of her. But man, so how's it going? How you doing?
It's going well.
Yeah.
Day off work.
Yeah. Dude, the weather, man, it's shitty.
Mm-hmm. It's a good time to stay home.
Good time to do a podcast.
I attempted to hibernate.
Right. That's what I was thinking about too, and I was like, I could cancel and reschedule, but I think that's just an excuse. And I haven't done. This is actually the first real podcast since the New Year's, so
nice.
I'm really excited that it's you, and we can kind of talk about everything, man. But basically, shit, when you asked me if I knew your sister that night, like that brought back I had never met you back then, and just I'm going to go back a little bit here. You're from Hazen.
Yep.
And I'm from Zap.
Yep.
And I mean, how old are you?
32.
You're 32. I'm 28. So we're 4 years apart. How we never met back then. Yeah. And I had actually hung out with your sister a couple of times. Like we were we talked, through back then, like MSN Messenger is what all the kids used
Nice.
and shit like that.
Yeah.
And like I was friends with her and like Danielle Milbrand, like all these people from Hazen and shit like that. But dude, yeah, we never met back then, but then we've met a couple times through the years, just like random occurrences.
It was the same way with Slinger. I actually didn't meet him until Bismarck.
Yeah.
Somehow, and we.
Well, it's crazy how we came from there. Like I'm from Zap. I'm still in Zap, so I can't really say we came from there. But sorry, everybody, if you hear little noises, that's my old computer booting up. We're using my new one for the recording and the old one for looking up information and songs and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of nuts. I really wanted to talk, like, let's go back here. Like, so you grew up in Hazen. How did I don't know you in between then, basically.
Sure.
I knew Betsy and now, and that's a huge chunk of time. And you have Rhythm Records. You play music live. I've seen you do photography stuff. Posing and taking, I'm assuming.
I haven't done. I haven't
capturing. I mean,
yeah. I mostly just participate in these kind of pageant deals that a friend of mine, Shane Balkovich, does.
Yeah. And I've seen a few of them, and they're awesome. Like I really enjoyed, and it wasn't just because you were in it. It was just really beautifully done. All the work that you were involved in. That which internet am I supposed to connect to?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is it
I
this
actually
one?
don't know the password.
Oh,
either.
you don't.
But Brian will have that when he comes in.
Okay, well we can just wait for him then. That's fine. We'll just I'll keep this here like this. Righteous. Yeah. But dude, my list of things. But man, so Rhythm Records, how did that start?
Rhythm Records was started by Robbie Montgomery originally.
Was it before you?
Yep.
Basically?
Yep.
Okay, so how long has it been in town?
It's let's see, probably about 9 years or a little over. A little bit over 9 years.
9 years. So you took it over when?
I took it over in October of 2013, so heading into 2014.
Because it's really cool. I remember the first time I walked in there was not too long ago. It was when there were several bands playing, but me and Dan, it was Halloween, that's where Dan was dressed up as Lemmy.
Oh, nice.
From Motorhead.
Was that this last year?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. That was my first time in Rhythm Records.
Oh,
I
nice.
had not been in there beforehand. I'm a very shy dude.
Oh, that's cool.
But until I get into situations like this, and I don't know why I had never made my way in there yet, so I apologize for that.
No, that's all right.
But when I walked in, it was really surreal place. Like I felt like this is a good music, epicenter of like you feel that it's not like it really is, but it kind of is in Bismarck at least. But it felt good in there for a musician. I felt comfortable and stuff. And then some guy offered me tea. I forgot who it was, but somebody did.
That was Luke Armstrong.
It might have been. I don't know, but it was funny, and I had a great time there. But so you took it over when again? My head is spacey.
Oh, that's all right. 2013. So October 1st would have been my my 5-year anniversary.
Yeah. And how's that going? How's Rhythm Records now?
It's wild. That's kind of the magic question,
Right.
It's fun to be in a business that everybody's always kind of wondering about how it's going, I get that a lot.
Well, in your personal opinion,
it's awesome,
because you do shows there still, right? You still have live music.
Yep, we have we've had to kind of gravitate towards strictly original material.
That's awesome.
Because of certain licensing issues and stuff like that. So
people can't do covers there?
Yeah.
How does that work? I'm curious about that now.
Explain
this.
It hasn't always been that way. When the previous owner had it, he was, I actually probably would rather not talk about that because.
Oh, gotcha. Hush, hush. I got you. Allegedly. I got you. Everybody that listens understands.
Yeah, right.
but
this
but,
feels like an alright place to have that conversation. But
it's still though people play live music there basically, and it's an only original thing. And that's I really like that. I'm sorry to dive back into it, but just for a second I despise doing covers, and I think everybody kind of knows that now about me because this is how I was like when I was taught when I was like 14, 15. I was taught the basics, and then my teacher went away, and he was like a youth pastor, got arrested. Long story. Anyway, and not for anything. He had to write fraud checks to stay alive because the church wasn't paying him enough, basically, to be a youth pastor. Nicest guy. Shout out to Daniel. He's doing great now. He lives in Minot. Runs some store, just a great guy. Anyway, he was a young guy. He taught me guitar, and basically after he got in that trouble and went away, I fended for myself. I learned myself. Ultimate/guitar.com has been along forever. So that's where I learned covers. But then I would take those covers and turn them into something new. You know what I mean? For myself, like I would learn chords that way by learning other people's music. And then I learned how they create my own music. Yeah. And that was a turning point. That's when I felt more comfortable playing music was my own music. Yeah. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, what's your preference?
I enjoy playing covers. Like when I first started playing music, I didn't think that I would necessarily like be able to do it well. Because
what's up, man? Hey. You gonna come join us? You can. You can sit in. You can chill, man. Dude, this is your guys' place. I'm just a guest. One day I'll have a studio in Bismarck.
I'm sorry, I'm Brian.
Brian? Brian, welcome to the podcast, dude. I'm Scott.
Nice to meet you, Scott.
This is the Birds Fucking Cold podcast. And by the way, while we have you here, we got to get the internet on this if that's cool. Oh. Do you want to just type it in? Or?
I mean, I can read it off to you off my computer.
Well, I don't want everybody to know your internet password.
We could pause it.
We could. Is it the 0706 one?
It's the Century.
The top one? Nope. Okay, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second here. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll pause it when you get back, but that's fine. But just
put it down. We can do that.
Oh yeah, that works perfect. But so for you, like writing music, like
that came.
Let's go back.
Yeah, that came more naturally.
How did you become a musician?
That's a good question. Yeah. Because I didn't play until I was.
By the way, we're gonna jump everywhere today. Yeah. I'm sorry. We're gonna go back to Rhythm Records. We're gonna go back to your music. That's how this podcast goes. Is I kind of wing it, even though I made this detailed list, and now I just want to throw it in the trash at this point. Like I'm just like I hate looking at that. That's not who I am. But I might go back there. If we
cool, man. No, by all means, just be.
But I mean, I want people to know who you are because I want to know who you are, and. I kind of described how I learned music and why I like that's why I like writing my own originals. And so the fact that rhythm like that is going on, that's awesome. I'm actually like cool with that, I guess, in my own way. I'm just like it would be sweet if there was a bar or someplace that you could only try out originals. Kind of like stand-up comedy. It's very frowned upon for stand-ups to copy other people's material.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Perfect. But it's kind of like that. But anyway, like going back to you living in Hazen right around the time I was living in Zap. Were you playing music back then?
No, I started when I was 22.
22. Great. I never hear about that. What got you into it?
Well, I
seen everybody else playing music around you.
No, I didn't really know anybody yet. I just kind of had moved to Bismarck. I was working at an after-school program, and then working in a child care. Sorry, that's all good.
But anyway, continue.
So I guess I wrote some poetry, and I kept a journal when I was in high school and stuff, and so I would kind of try to express myself creatively with words, and.
When did that start? When you were really young?
Yeah. Probably about 4th grade is when I first. 5th grade was when I first started like kind of keeping a journal and stuff. And then, you know, I kept it in high school. There was like a couple years where I was like really adamant about it. And then after I graduated and was working and living in Bismarck, I kind of, everybody was, you know, into rap. I was into rap. And so I was like, you know, I wrote poetry and stuff. So I wanted to try my hand at writing like rhymes for hip hop, and I kind of had a knack for it. And then you know, like battle friends at parties.
You want to know who told me an awesome story about you?
Okay.
And what got me sold on having you on the podcast is when I did it with Philip. I did a podcast.
Oh, sure,
with
Phil
Philip.
Schultz. Yeah.
And he told me this story about you getting on stage and rapping.
Yeah.
Like the Laughing Son, I think he said.
Yeah.
When he told me that story, and you know, if you're interested in it, go back and listen to that podcast, because Philip told it. I wouldn't be able to do it justice.
Oh, funny.
Because he was on one too that day. We were both kind of having fun, and and he was having a great time. And we had just met, and he told me the story about you because I mentioned you you got brought up.
Yeah.
And anyway, he told me about you getting on stage and just killing it, and then just walking off. This is what he said. May I join your battle or your song? That's what you had said too. And he's like, yeah, buddy. And he's like, I did not know him at the time. That's what he said. He's like, and you came up so polite. He just had to give you the mic.
Yeah.
And he destroyed it and said, thank you. And he walked away. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you were writing rhymes for people, basically.
For myself.
Oh, for yourself.
Yeah, for myself, yeah. I was just, you know, rapping, and it was fun to do.
Because I would never think you'd be a rapper. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? After hearing you play acoustically and everything on stage,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, that's who you are. You know what I mean?
I can really, like, get in this kind of, like, cycle. Like, however I'm writing kind of tends to change a little bit depending on like what my most recent environment has been, kind of a thing. Like, you know, if I'm you know, if I'm like running sound for like a rap show and it's like, you know, it's like hip hop all night, like when I get home I'm kind of thinking like that again. And
right,
I mean, I was, you know, I was like doing that before, but like when it comes to like trying to like freestyle and stuff, it's kind of crazy. You know, it's like you
I've
don't
done
really turn it off and like, you know, and you just kind of keep, you know, so it's kind of a different thing, and it's fun to allow, you know, my mind to like
venture.
Yeah.
Well, and what I just said, as soon as I had said it, what I just said, like about me assuming that was all you are, I was like, okay, that's a negative thought, because I can do a lot of things that nobody else knows either, and they don't know that because I go on stage and play what I have to play, because you're a one-man band. I mean, not a lot of people want to see someone up there just, you know, just play the bass, you know, and not singing, no backup, nothing
Just
like that.
bass,
You kind of are
straight
stuck into doing these gigs, you know, as a musician, and you appreciate them. I'm not saying they're shitty, but you're stuck into playing certain songs that sound really good acoustically because you do want to make people feel good.
It's kind of a challenge to figure out, like, you know,
how to do everything that's messing around in your head.
Yeah, and just kind of trying to find that like balance of kind of like satisfying your own artistic
Right there, yep.
intentions with what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to like play music that, you know, you enjoy doing, and then also you're trying to figure out like, you know, like what does like a bar or a group of people, like what keeps them entertained.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the that's kind of the that's the trick when, or not trick, but like that's like one of the hardest things to do, I think, honestly, is like, you know, trying to do both. You know, there's times I play songs and I like, you know, sing high and
Yep.
low and loud and quiet and
Your
you know,
octave range puts mine to shame. like it really does. Like, and I say that in great respect to you. You know?
But sometimes at the end of a show, you know, I'm like, did I like, you know, did the group of people that was here listening, you know, like
enjoy it?
Yeah, and did I, yeah.
Did you do your job as a musician?
Right.
That's the way I like
Right.
to put it. Because it is, granted, this is something we love to do.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, when you're getting paid for it, I consider it a job. And now some musicians, like I've talked to them, they don't look at it that way. They'll like try and be late and shit like the really egotistical people. I think there's a lot of musicians who are egomaniacs. I mean, it's part of, we like to get on stage and entertain people and be the only ones up there.
Yeah.
That is part of your ego, you know, like you want their attention. And to get that attention, you got to be good or be outlandish. And I've met those people, but it's kind of the true musicians, I think, that consider it like we do. We're like, okay, they are taking the time to come see us.
Right.
We're not taking the time to come see them.
Yeah.
You know?
I always also try to think, you know, like they didn't not everybody that goes out necessarily came out to hear music, you
Yep.
know. It's like a lot of people are like, no, I've got like five
Especially in a bar.
five stories from today that I want to tell my friend, and I'm not going to be quiet, you know.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, trying to kind of like balance all of that and you know, feel good about it.
Yeah.
That's the real, you know, everybody's trying to do that. And
Right.
I mean, I want to say, Scott, that I do hear you about the egomaniac type of thing, because I feel that way personally. I play with a church band.
Do you?
Yeah. Every Saturday, and you know, I don't miss that for the world. You know, they don't pay me. I get a
Yep.
free potluck dinner, or not
There you
potluck,
go.
you know. But
That's
like,
bomb.
Yeah.
I played gigs for food.
And I do,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
and I do a rehearsal every week, and you know, I feel like I do get that kind of like egomaniac. I'm like, yeah, I'm a star.
It's a great feeling being
Like,
on stage.
it is,
That's what I tell
yeah.
people. I'm like, I've done so many amounts of drugs. I mean, some, like, I can say that now.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's fine to say that. You know, a lot of people be like, oh, it's like, it's not a secret. Kind of a public record. I've been busted.
Yeah.
But, you know, but being on any stage in front of 5 people to a ton of people, you know, is a great feeling. It's a high that I tell people. I'm like, you want to know what I think is still, like, I've done a massive amount of cocaine. That is still more fun. Now, if I do that cocaine and do that at the same time, that's a new top, but don't do that, you know. But, you know, like, being up there is amazing. It's such an amazing feeling, regardless if you have a shitty set, too.
And
you
I
know?
sometimes, you know, tell myself I'm going to quit that band just because, like, I don't enjoy the music selection,
Right.
or, you know, but I'm just like, man, I just like playing, getting up on
being
stage.
a part of some type of community.
I don't have to write any songs or pick songs because
That's
they do
nice.
that all for me, but then they want me to sing it, which is a strain.
Yeah.
Because I'm more of a baritone bass, and they always want me to sing a tenor part, you know.
And it is kind of
Christian
hard to
pop
sing.
contemporary.
Yeah, it
it's
is
like
kind of.
knowing you're gonna get a turn feels good too. You
Yeah,
know? It's like
yeah.
that's what I liked about tour was it was like every day is like my turn.
Right.
It was like
But dude, like your situation, you have to sing Christian songs. How is that for you? Like
You know, sometimes I...
Can I ask? You are religious? I'm assuming.
I'm Christian. I don't
Yeah.
consider myself religious, like in an
Intense
way. I
Yeah.
consider myself more spiritual,
Right.
you know,
yeah.
but you know, it's...
But how do you feel about singing those lyrics? Is it
I
hard
mean,
for you?
sometimes I think the lyrics suck really bad.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes
mean,
I think they're fear-mongering, you know.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like,
I know.
there's
exactly.
a song we sing called Courageous. You can look up the lyrics for that. It's like, we were
It's
meant
like
to be
about-
courageous, and like,
Courageous. Who's
a
it
lot
by?
of blood.
I think, I can't remember,
Courageous
maybe
song,
Third Day or
Christian.
something. I can't, it's
Third
a,
Day, I remember.
it's a really...
Like I said, I learned
They put
guitar from my youth pastor.
yeah, I
Another
learned
thing I don't like
chords
about
that
our-
yeah.
Here we go. Casting Crowns.
Casting Crowns,
I believe this is it.
Don't play it. Oh, man.
Well, I'm not. Oh, I'm on YouTube now. I can't.
But there's lyrics.
The lyrics. Here we go.
Oh, you can't. Yeah.
We were made to be courageous. We were made. By the way, people, we are not trashing Christians. We're just making fun of a singular.
I
song.
feel like this song specifically
So we-
clarifies how I don't like fear-mongering and
We were
Christian
made to
music.
lead the way. We could be the.
We were
generation.
warriors on the front line. Like, I feel like it's warmongering, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, you watch the video, there's,
I
like,
know
a
a
lot
ton
of
of
cop
Christian
chases
songs.
in this song, in the video, too.
But now we're
Yeah.
watchers on the sidelines while our families slip.
Like, oh, your family's slipping away. It's like, I don't think you should be trying to make people afraid of that. We were made to be men of courage. Like, it seems like they're trying to encourage people to, like, to go off to war or something. I don't
It
even
is.
know
Have
what.
you heard of not Skillet? They had Pillar. Remember that band? They're like for the time when they came out. I'll look them up. They were like a pretty heavy like rock group that was Christian, and most of their songs was about fighting. Mm-hmm. Like I look back now and dude, I'll listen to some of their songs even when I'm in the gym. Great band, great band. But man, like they had like a twisted view on Christianity, you know. But then you have bands that are amazing, like August Burns Red, one of my favorite fucking heavy metal bands. They're heavy as fuck, but their lyrics are phenomenal lyrics. And like you said, like I consider myself more spiritual, and I don't know, you know, there's probably something up there, you know, like there's moments I, you know, think about that, and I've wrote very like demon angel like music about these subjects because I believe that's inside each of us. Each of us has a spirituality. It just depends how you look at it, you know, and how each person looks at themselves. You know, like I believe most of my problems, if I would look at it spiritually, it's like, you know, like I got, you know, demons knocking on the back door and angels in the front, you know, like both knocking at the same time. You know, that's how I view my life sometimes. It's like these things happen, you know, and wow, we got way off topic, but yeah, Pillar band. Let's look here. I can't play any. That's so shitty.
I was gonna say we could also look up the lyrics for "Eye of the Storm." That one,
Front Line. That's the name of the first song in their first CD. I remember that.
Front Line.
Front Line. Like that's what I was trying to think. Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, we know what you're doing. You know, like,
pull up "Eye of the Storm" lyrics real quick. Yeah. Because like this is another one that kind of irks me.
Monsters and Men.
I don't know who it's by, really. I just sing it. You know.
They're not. Is it a heavy metal?
No, not
song?
really.
Okay, then I'll just.
It's probably a different. Yeah, that's not it.
Because A Mice and Men is heavy as fuck. Christian song.
Oh, you misspelled I. It's EYE.
Oh Jesus!
There it is.
That'll happen.
Like.
Brian's a Scrabble champion. Crossword puzzle.
I'm an idiot. I don't know how I made it this far. So what are you looking at here?
Just some of these lyrics drive me crazy. In the middle of the war, you got. Well, that's the chorus.
Yeah. And a lot of these are metaphors, you know, like that's what they'll say is like they're metaphors for, you know, the war between the devil and God, you know. That's what they'll say. Now, we've all seen, you know,
This verse
differences.
is pretty bad. When Tess comes in and the doctor says, "I've only got a few months left." It's like every verse of this song is like horrible things are
Like
happening to this
pill I'm
person.
swalling, I can barely take a breath.
When addiction steals my baby girl, and there's nothing I can do, my only hope is you, Lord. And it's like,
Trust you.
I mean, I feel like they're rejecting, you know, personal responsibility to reach out to people
Honestly,
to try and, you know, enforce this mindset sometimes.
So I wonder if they wrote a song just like this, except without the Christian backdrop. How would we feel about that? You know what I mean? Like, say if this song was wrote not under a Christian label, not under the premise that it was necessarily Christian, would we think it's just another rock song? I mean, if it was put to like rock music and stuff
let's
like
just
that.
try replacing Lord with
It's all again.
Greg.
Greg. Yeah, yes you do, Greg. In the eye of the storm, yeah. You remain in my control.
Greg.
Yes, you do, Greg.
Yeah.
In the middle of
See,
the
I don't-
war,
I don't
you
have a
guard my
problem with
soul.
that.
You are
You
alone.
guard my soul, Greg.
Yeah, you guard my soul, Greg.
You alone are the anchor.
Wonder if he loves a guy named Greg. You know, like-
Yeah.
But anyway, I've never met a
Greg
guy
sounds
like
awesome.
I don't know.
And
those
like
two
a
songs
warrior.
just drive me crazy. And like people really love hearing me sing them.
But anyway, yeah, it's crazy. But like going back though, like singing these lyrics, I bet you feel a little weird while you do it.
I do.
I would now. I used to do it all the time though,
Yeah.
when I was a kid. You know? And you grew up in a very Christian household.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. My other roommate came home, and he was like, "What?" Or was it him? No, excuse me. Okay, it was Sky Hughesby. Do you know Sky Hughesby?
I love Sky.
And
He's
he
been
was
on the
like,
podcast 3-4 times.
He was like, "I just found out that my friend was on Jesus Camp."
What's Jesus Camp?
Documentary.
It's a documentary about this like kids camp, church camp, and they like
it was in North Dakota too, wasn't it?
I went to that camp. I went to her camp. So like it was like,
did everybody kind of around our area we grew up with
probably?
Because I remember going to a couple camps too, but I was going
Were
through
they
the
like
Church
Bible
of God
camps?
and Beulah.
Yeah,
they're straight up through the church.
Yeah, but I mean,
they make you check in, and now that I've gone to jail, it reminds me of that now. They make you go through everything as you walk in, make sure you're not smuggling some weed or drugs in, and like it's really weird. And I look back at that now, and now that I've spent the night in jail, and I'm just like in like bad jail, Burleigh County jail, where they make you spread them, and like I'm like, literally. It was exactly the same without the spreading part, without the stripping down and getting naked.
That's the
part.
difference.
That was the difference in feeling.
Difference
is I felt very uncomfortable there, except till like I was young and all the girls were running around and people, Christian camp ain't gonna stop none of that. I made out with like 3 girls out there, like they don't give a shit, and this is us being kids. But anyway, man, holy shit, did we go super off topic. But you grew up in a very Christian household.
Oh, yeah. My dad's a minister.
Yeah. How was that for you?
He's...
Do you want to... am I
that's fine. No, he's like...
You don't have to go super in-depth.
Sure, he's like...
You got a good relationship.
He's an amazing human being, and like, I think that like... If you're, like...
Most definitely.
If you're like looking for like a good, like representation of like a really... positive way to
anybody else not gonna do that
to have religion be your life's work. He's pretty cool like that, and he's a really kind person.
Right.
And I'm old enough now where I know that like
he did the best he could. And
and
good.
And also, he's like he's not responsible for
problem
for other things that I don't
because knowing Betsy, going back to that, she never talked ill. She was annoyed sometimes. As a teenager, like looking back now as an adult, I'm like, we were teenagers. We fucking hated our parents. Right? That's just how it is. Every teenager's like that, for the most part. Some are awesome, I bet, but not me. I was an asshole, But that's awesome though that at least you had that, And it seems like it's the way it goes on the Birds Fucking Cold podcast. Let's see how many times I cough on there.
That's Birds Cold.
Yeah, Birds Fucking Cold.
Birds Fucking.
Me and Dan made it up just drunk one night as a fluke. We were like, I bet we can't start a podcast, because it was when I really dived deep into like Joe Rogan and like all those good podcasts and like trippy ones too, and I got Dan hooked on him, and we were like, we should start outside. Here we are, episode 20 something, 28, 29, maybe 30. I don't fucking know anymore. And it's fun, and I'm excited to hear you're starting one. I'm very excited about that. That's why I keep telling people. It's like, Nikki and Natalie, when we did our podcast together a little back ways, they were talking about doing one. I'm like, do it. And here's a podcast you should listen to get like into. It's called Guys We Fucked. It's a podcast with these 2 comedian girls that are fairly known. But basically, they started the podcast as a goof to interview their ex-boyfriends. That's why Guys We Fucked. And then it turned into something way more. Like, it was called, eventually they named it to the Anti-Slut Shaming Podcast. And it's so funny. It's so funny. It's such a good podcast.
Cool.
I told them, listen to this. This will give you ideas on how to do it. Like I said, it's like a base. Like, how you pick like different formats for Word. Like back in high school, they made you do that. You know, you had the templates. It's like they're templates. You know, these big ones, and maybe you can take 2 different templates and kind of make them your own. You know, and I implore everyone that has something like, you know, don't do it if you're not gonna fucking be passionate about it. That's all I'm saying. But try it. You know, it might be better than mine. That's awesome. Honestly, like I've kind of wish that I knew more podcasters. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like I feel like Barry alone.
Yeah. You said you tried comedy too. There's like 2 comedians.
God, I wish I could do comedy. Honestly, if I knew where to go other than Fargo, like if there was something, there should be something. It's
Just an
the
improv
Kaplan.
clinic or something here would be awesome.
It'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And I have a
It
buddy in
takes
Zap that wants to
nothing,
do it
you
too.
know. Like you think about, you know, like how like open mics a lot of times are like
There needs
this-
to be way more open mics too.
right. So they're like a springboard, and like, you know, they like break the ice for a lot of musicians to meet one another and stuff. You know, it's like, what do you actually like need to try to start like a comedy group that tries like once or twice a month or something? You know, it's like really like you could do it in a tunnel under a bridge. You know,
Right.
like you can,
Sky's basement.
yeah. Exactly.
You know? Sorry, everybody.
But-
I've been smoking too many cigarettes. Jesus.
The pressure of feeling like you need to make people laugh,
Yeah.
it's like 10 times more intense than trying to like play a song, in my experience. I've done stand-up
I
once.
bet.
I did
I've
stand-up
never done
once, and I've never really had the like, I mean, I'd do it again, I think, but like I fully recognize that it was like so much more intense. There's so much more pressure, and it's every second. Whereas like you're playing a song, you fuck up, you know, you know what you're supposed
Well,
to do next, and
you're
I
already-
think you can
Yeah.
get there. Yeah, you can get there with comedy for
And, you
sure.
know, I'm
but
not gonna say
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
an expert or anything in comedy. That's not what I'm about to say. But I've listened to the only podcasts I listen to are all comedian based. Bill Burr, Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan, Bert Kreischer's one of my favorites too. And these are the higher ups right now in comedy. And I've listened to hundreds upon hundreds, probably 1,000 episodes now. I've listened to all of them. And they've gone into detail about comedy. And they're like, you pretty much eat a bag of dicks for the first like 10 years.
Yeah.
If you're serious about it. You move to California. That's a hot spot in comedy right now. And you start off with 5 minutes. That's all they'll give you
Right.
at the most.
Yeah.
And you can fuck up in those 5 minutes. They feel like half an hour. They
Yeah.
say. And it's 5 minutes of trying to just tell something within that 5
Right.
minutes. And then you move up to 10
Yeah.
and 30, and then you're a paid regular. But that's how it happens in big cities. But, you know, like you said, comedy is way harder within that 5 minutes. Like, I can play an hour show, like, you know, I did at the Drink, and fuck up 2 songs, still have a great set. Out in an hour.
Yeah.
And I fucked up 2 songs. You fuck up one little time in that 5-minute window of you have to
just
make these
sweat it.
people laugh,
Yeah.
you're screwed.
Yeah.
You know, you got to bring your A game, and you're gonna. The whole point, they say, is that's what makes you a great comedian. Is eating those. They always say bag of dicks. I don't know why. They're always like making you eat that bag of dicks for years, and you'll have good sets. Like eventually, you'll get, you know, one good joke, and it'll make 2 good jokes.
Yeah.
But you're still gonna fuck up those good jokes till you refine those, and it's like writing the perfect, you know, symphony. You know, like you have to refine it until it's like a polished diamond, or like a Japanese sword. Like you have to pound on it for forever. You know, and make it the sharpest thing in the world. You know, that's how Joe puts it.
I wonder if people did like kind of like what we're doing, or you know, like if people like recorded themselves more frequently trying stand up for no one. I'm sure they do, but
Well, no, not for no one. What they do is they'll, like, this is the way Bert Kreischer said he does it. He records parts of his sets, you know, just the stand-up, you know, like
yeah,
trying it
I mean
out.
almost like
And then
somebody
he
like
listens to it, sees where he fucks up on the
Right.
punches or the ups or downs. They said
Yeah.
that this is terminology,
Yeah.
comedy terminology, like the ups, the downs, the punches, you know, like where he screws up in these, and it's not even the joke; it's the way he said the joke. That's what matters the most.
Right.
And the body language, you know. So some people videotape and record themselves just doing a stand-up set.
Yeah.
You know, that's how big-time comedians have learned. And you want to know what's
like,
awesome now?
that makes sense
We
to
could
me.
do that because we have phones. We have, you know, I'm doing a podcast right now. I could easily record myself on stage, you know, myself without having to pay anybody to do it, you know. But we don't have those opportunities. It really sucks, you know. I would love to do comedy sometime. I'd love to hear you do comedy.
I think if you were to like throw
I've been
throw
trying to talk to
5
Bobby.
minutes, throw
I've been
5
trying to
minutes
talk to
into your
Bobby.
hour set at the drink.
Yeah, but people would hate that because it's music. You gotta separate the two.
Yeah,
I
would you
think.
start with 5 minutes of comedy, put it in the middle? put it
Yeah.
at the
Unless
end, so-
unless you're one of those comedian/musician types, then there are very successful ones out
Yeah.
there. I can't remember his name. There's a country
Bo
one.
Burnham,
Yeah,
What's
you
that?
could-
Bo Burnham, Stephen Lynch,
Yeah.
Stephen Wright like would whisper and play guitar. That
Yeah.
was pretty funny. You ever see that?
No.
Yeah, he like goes and he you know, he's got like a sold out show or whatever, and he's
Right.
like, all right, I'm gonna play a song, and he like goes over to the like across the stage to this setup, and then he like plays for like a minute, and you can't even hear him. He's just like,
I bet it's hilarious.
Like,
it
yeah,
makes you laugh.
it's gold.
It's body language, shit like that. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I don't know. It'd be cool if that would happen here. Would you ever think about doing it at Rhythm Records?
well, I've had comedians, I've had touring comedians at Rhythm
Really?
Records before, yeah.
Okay.
Dakota Stage has stand-up comedy as well, and it's also,
What?
yep, they have touring comedians.
That's what happens when you live in Zap. You know,
yeah,
you don't know
and then they,
shit what's going on.
that's
anymore.
okay, man.
That's
They,
why I do this.
Yeah. There's like, you know, I think there's like only a couple, you know, there's a comedian in town named Jeff Allen. I think if you were to get in contact with him, if you wanted an actual opportunity to try it, like
What's his name?
Jeff Allen,
In the
Dakota Stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of the stage. I just didn't really do comedy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yep. A
I
couple
have a
times a
buddy,
year.
Charles. He's my partner usually on my podcast.
Oh, nice.
Funniest dry humor motherfucker I've ever met. He
Thanks.
puts me ashamed. See, I feel like I would do stories. I have fucking amazing stories,
Yeah.
but that's a lot harder storytelling, for comedy than it is some punches with dry humor, like he does. So he would kill it. I would eat a bag of dicks right away. I would take it.
Which
though.
sounds like
I'd
that's
take-
the recipe
the
for success.
And you know what? And going back to music, this is how I'm gonna bring this back because we're going way off topic, but that's how it kind of is in music a way too. Even though yes, you have a greater opportunity to succeed in a set with music. Man, I played some bad sets. I mean, I'm sure you have too.
Yeah.
You know, have you?
Yeah.
I think every good musician has had bad sets. It makes you never want to have a bad set again.
Yeah.
That's what it made me feel like. You know what happened my first set ever is, speaking of church shit, it was in church, and it was the dumbest thing ever. There was all these guitar players, all being taught by our youth pastor. There's 4 of us. So we did a song together, that night for youth night on Wednesday nights, and where we all played. I got fucking unplugged by one of my friends. And I had this sick looking red BC Rich thing that was really sick looking, but it was a piece of shit. It was falling apart and I didn't even know it. I was so novice. And they unplugged me and I jammed fucking forever thinking I was playing. Isn't that shitty? I got laughed at for fucking months, dude. That's how shitty my friends are. And I'm still, Jaden Bone did it. I'll call
Really?
him. Yeah, I laugh about it. I give him shit about it. You know Jaden.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He was a shithead back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't care saying it, Jaden. I love you. You fucking with me so bad. But anyway, he unplugged me, and it was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
As a musician trying to be a good,
yeah.
trying, that's when it really hurts. But I always double check my chords now.
Well, 100%.
I always double check my chords. I make sure everything's plugged in. Nice. Everybody
Like,
can hear us having a beer.
Do you need another?
No, I still got half one. I'm kind of sipping. I'm waiting on Gabe.
I tried a weird one. You know, it's like a German style sour. So.
I like it. I was gonna say that
good.
right away.
It's
It tastes good.
beer. I'd never had it. So.
Sorry, I know I said this
clean
is
and
a pet
crisp.
peeve, but I am gonna see if I'm staying in Bismarck tonight or not.
Sure. Yeah.
Just to double check.
Like, I'll talk about mine not having any sound at church. Like, this happened 2 weeks ago, and like, they keep on moving us from like the basement,
Yeah.
fellowship hall, to the upstairs, actual worship hall, to the upstairs, fellowship hall. Like, 3 different rooms we'll actually play in. And like, 2 weeks ago, they had us playing in the upstairs worship area, and like, between songs, like, I hadn't been able to hear myself through the monitor at all. I just strummed on my guitar, and I'm like, there's no sound coming out at all. Like, I'm not even playing, you know? But no, I'm just furious at the sound person. I'm not even
You
gonna
know
call
they
him a
never
sound
know what
guy
they're fucking
because he
doing. Right?
sucked
Or did
at it.
this person know what he's doing?
No.
Okay,
I
see,
don't
they
think he
never
did.
ever do at church.
I
you ever
think
notice that?
This is
They're
first time to have
winging it.
soundboard, I'm sure. I keep
They have
on
no
asking
fucking
Richard to come
idea.
by and
It's
help.
it's very rare when you get a sound guy that's good at church. Right?
Yeah.
It's very
They've
rare.
got really expensive equipment at this church.
Next
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
They got all the equipment.
They got all the equipment.
Always have the best gear. Well, what happens is there's one guy who runs it, and he's, I don't know.
Like, and
Sorry.
so, yeah. And like, I'm actually looking at the back where the soundboard is, and there's like 3 people, like,
Standing back there.
Yeah.
like, all dumb. I mean, like, I don't want to say it like that, but just acting like they don't know how to turn up, like, and so, like, I turn up my volume all the way on my guitar, there's nothing, and then all of a sudden, something comes through so loud.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like,
Boom.
I try and crank my guitar back,
Yeah.
and, like, then there's nothing again. It's like, I felt like they were making fun of me. You know, like,
It's stuff
driving
like
me
that.
crazy.
Like when I provide like audio tech, services to different places, or like like producing or something like that. I'm always like, I know so many people do it, and it's really hard to like kind of have the confidence maybe to like, ask to be compensated for it or whatever, but it's like, then I hear like stories like that, and I'm just like, man, it really is a rare thing when somebody's like Johnny on the
And we
the
had, like, a
ball,
2-song-
actually making
It
you
is.
feel comfortable enough to do what you're doing.
and we had a
Right.
2-song, like, sound check, like, 2 hours before. Like, we only had time to do 2
Oh, you
songs.
did a sound check though?
And, like, I had sounds 2 hours before the show.
Oh,
and so, like, they
fucked
must have
with
done
the-
something to take the sound
Somebody
away.
fucked with the board.
Yeah, and, like...
You know what I found out one time in my old church is the kids were doing it. The little kids.
That's what...
They'd run up there and
They mess with
nobody
my
was
amp.
watching them, and they'd fuck up with the sound right before service, like on Sunday.
They mess with my amp
So like
when
the
I'm
pastor
out
would be up there talking, and nobody wanted to tell him that nobody could hear a fucking word he was saying. It's shit like that.
Yeah.
But what can you do, man? Fucking, what can you do?
there. But no, we sounded good last week,
I was
in a different space, and
when I was like maybe 10 or no, I was probably a little older, I guess, I don't know, 12, 13. I remember sitting, they would like record my dad preaching,
yeah.
and it was like on some like maybe like public access station or something like that, but I remember then they're like, oh well, yeah, well you can watch the board.
Right.
And like, I mean, I just remember sitting there, like, I mean, I knew how to push record on the camera, and I'm like, everyone's like looking at me like, good job, and I'm like, I'm the sound
really
guy.
bad. I was
You're
such
like the sound guy, but you're like, I'm not pushing any buttons ever.
like they just like kind of silently talked you into doing it.
Yeah, totally. They just put you by.
They
it.
wouldn't even put me.
That's-
They hated me so much in my church. They wouldn't put me on the soundboard. I begged them because I wanted
Really?
to learn. Yeah, I was all about music, but man, they knew I was high all the time. Like it was just one of those stupid things.
I used to play a lot of trumpet. at
Fucking.
church,
But then they heard me, or they wouldn't believe me about the guitar thing until, because they thought my teacher had left, he had got in trouble, but I still kept going to church, unfortunately. And basically after a while, I was like, no, I can play now. And they're like, no, you're not that good. I'm like, give me that fucking guitar. Like, I got really mad. I remember it because it was a proving point, and I wasn't that good. But
I can play.
But then I was like, give me 3 chords in a song.
Yeah.
That's all I asked them. I was like, tell me what like that Amazing Grace song is, what chords they are.
Yeah.
And then they told me the chords, and I would remember the rhythm.
Yeah.
And then I'd just slowly wing it. I'd look at him and be like, you give me some little bit of sheet music, I can play that perfectly. You know, but I just did for you what you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And I want to play guitar on stage. Because I was being an egomaniac even back then. I wanted the approval of my peers.
Yeah.
As a kid, you know, it's kind of crazy.
I grew up around like praise and worship teams and stuff, and I know, like, man, when I love,
well, dude, look where we're from. Look
yeah,
where we're from.
I know.
Everybody did, and
but there's like this
amazing.
there's this like something like charming about like the struggle within the church.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like,
there's always a council,
Yeah.
and that's how. When I was fucking like 14, that's how the youth pastor got in trouble and shit. The council wanted him out. Pretty much. That's why they weren't paying him. And then, you know, the regular pastor said something to piss off one person on that council, and that dude made the entire council kick him out. And it's already gone through like 3 pastors up there in Beulah, you know. I said it earlier, I shouldn't have said the name of the fucking place, but whatever. You know, this is just truth.
Yeah.
And anyway, you know, they got, I don't go there, you know, like I haven't been there since fucking I was like 16. You know, and from what I hear, you know, my brother goes and he's just like, yeah, we're on our 6th pastor. And I'm like, Jesus, man, keep a guy around. My God,
that's pretty common.
But what can you do? You know, how long was your dad a pastor for?
He still is.
How long has he been doing it?
Since he was like 26, I think.
Dude, how did that affect like you growing up and everything? Like, do you
Still
think because
does.
of that? Like that's the way you write your poetry and your music and
Probably.
all that stuff?
I mean, you know,
just
like
had an everlasting effect.
singing hymns and like, you know, and then just like learning praise and worship songs and stuff. But you know, like I think like, you know, anyone who's a musician has that, you know, that thing that sets them apart from everything else that they're around, no matter what, you know. It's like, so it doesn't matter, you know. I mean, I'm influenced by that. That was part of my life, and it still is influenced in my life. But like,
because you still have a good relationship with your dad. Yeah.
But like that was like, but there were things about like music and art that made me feel like there was no one else like me. And that was good, you know. And I think everybody that plays
I haven't heard
music,
anybody put it like that, but I understand completely what you're talking about.
So there's that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's.
I feel like when I know a person is a really good musician, when I talk to them for the first time, it's when there's two reactions. There's usually the, yeah, I'm just doing this to get by. And then, you know, it was like, oh, I tried all new material tonight. It did okay. I'm going to work on it and come back the next time and kill it again and try and do better each time, you know, because they basically, you know, those are the 2 type of musicians, I think. It's really simple. It's either the ones that are just getting by because they kind of lost the drive to do it.
Just playing a game.
Yeah, and then there's the ones that are still truly passionate about it. You know, and those ones are constantly evolving as musicians, and then that in turn makes them want to be different from any other musician. I feel like that's how I think, where I'm like, okay, I want to not sound like this person. Like I want to have my own individual voice, and that's the way I think a lot of musicians think in their head, is because we're wired differently. You know what I mean? Like we want our own individual voice. We don't want to sound like everybody else.
I think the older I get, the more I think that, like, you know, I just want to be a part of my voice. Like, I want it to, you know, because like it is influenced by so many artists.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, if like people always say find your voice, but you know, like, it's like your voice just means that like people can hear it and they can tell it's you, you know. That doesn't necessarily mean, and not that you're saying that it does, but like the older I get, the more I realize that, you know, like I'm thinking of like a bunch of different artists while I'm performing, and I'm like trying to be okay with that as opposed to like, pretending.
What do you mean, like you're thinking about a bunch of different artists?
I'm just like influenced by a lot of different music, like I can, and usually I can hear any song and I can draw, I can draw a parallel
So, like,
to something
so
that's
some of your
like
songs,
really close.
like, are influenced by certain people, basically. Is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
lots.
And that's
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Like I have songs that say they remind him of Rise Against, and then I have songs that'll remind him of fucking Ben Harper. You know.
Yep.
And I think that's a good thing. Like the people that came before us, like, and even if they're still here playing, like they influence you in a way that's how music evolves.
There's a fine line.
You got to make
though.
it your own, though.
Yeah.
It's still your
It's
song.
a fine line between being a rip-off and being influenced.
But a lot of people normal people would just call that genres and shit like that. But as us, we know where that song came from.
There's a band that comes to mind.
You know
There's a
what I mean?
band that comes to mind right now that a lot of people are. It's a bigger band. It's Greta Van. You know those guys?
Are they folk music?
No, it's they
Or
like
what are they?
Everybody's like pissed because they sound exactly like Led Zeppelin.
I gotta. What is that?
That's great that you've never heard of them.
Greta?
Yep.
Like
Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Like there's like there are people that are just pissed like because they sound like but I like it isn't my favorite music to listen to, but like so.
But then why are they popular?
The argument is like kind of naive to me because it's like, yeah. But maybe I think it's just fun for some people to have different opinions, so it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But it's like, man, Greta Van Fleet can't care about that like obviously.
No.
And they sound just as much like Rush as they do Led Zeppelin, I think. But
You really can't. The fact that they're known though is a telling sign in itself that people do enjoy their music.
oh yeah, they're pretty popular.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
why should they give a shit about it? I mean, like
Yeah.
that's what I would think. Like, I mean,
That's our neighbor
Oh.
singing.
where does she live? Like,
Downstairs, but
Oh.
there's a stairway right on the other side of that
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Narnia door there. And
But
it's a
anyway,
secret world.
nice. Anyway, but like, yeah, as musicians, we can't really care about that shit. I mean, there is copying. I will give it that. But if you're not, it's just a sound.
Yeah.
You're not copying lyrics or the chords, and shit like that. And granted, Led Zeppelin, what are they being? Don't they have a lawsuit still against them for their song
from Spirit
that they stole a song?
lots from
Yeah.
Spirit. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Are we just gonna get mad about every little thing? Come on now. I don't know, but it depends though. For each person, it really does how you feel about that. Especially as a musician, I wouldn't mind. I'd actually be cool with it.
If you
somebody-
sounded exactly like something.
No,
Or-
other way around.
Oh,
If I was
right.
Led
If
Zeppelin,
somebody was,
I'd be like, that's pretty cool.
right.
It's
yeah.
cool that I'm being sort of emulated. Like,
Yeah.
they have found my sound and they're using it in their own way.
Yeah.
It's like the blues. So every blues musician is at fault for the other blues musician.
I think Jack White invented the blues, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, what? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What can you do though about people? They'll be upset about something.
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. But dude, should we take a smoke break?
Sure.
Down for a cigarette?
Yeah.
Awesome. We do smoke breaks here. On this one.
See?
There we go. I saved it. Now it's recording. Joe.
We're back.
I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm hoping it's working.
I'm gonna try my Nutravape. It's
Otherwise, we might have to.
No.
I might have to come back. Dude, but anyway.
That's tasty.
Fuck yeah, man.
Want to try the
Yeah.
Nutravape?
This thing's always like making So
I hate them. This one doesn't have nicotine.
This
Yep.
is this. Okay.
It's what, just sugar?
Yeah.
This is for kids.
Weird.
Are you gonna go push
Not
this on
bad,
the,
huh?
like,
Weird,
high school
yeah.
stuff?
It's like ginseng and
Right. I can see how that could help you even quit smoking. You know.
So
Yeah. Hoping.
if I can skip a few for now, that's great.
Like,
Right.
not to make this an advertisement.
Yeah,
for them,
right.
But like, do you have to buy like a bunch of those, or how long is that they last?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
It's $10.
Yeah. It's $10. Anyway, dude. So Rhythm Records, what's like going on with it now, and what's the plan with it? Like, do you have any special things going on soon?
Well, last year I brought on a business partner named Gus Lindgren. Gus is my partner at Rhythm Records. And so, like, just kind of like, I guess trying to make it more utilizable by like more people, and have it so that it's kind of centered around like, you know, community projects and stuff like that, letting other people organize and stuff like that. And we'll still have, you know, events that like we book or shows.
Right. Get the big one out of the way. There we go. What do you mean by like community organizing?
Well, just kind of like, you know, like when you want to play somewhere, you know, you always contact a venue,
Yep.
and obviously somebody has to do that in some general facet, but like just kind of making it so that there's more events that are taking place that like I'm not necessarily booking.
Right.
Like I'll facilitate, I'll house it and everything, you know, but like,
Okay.
you know, that way, like when musicians want to do something, they're communicating with other musicians and putting a show together instead of me having to like kind of choreograph the whole thing myself, you know. It's
Right.
like that wasn't, I enjoy doing that, but like it wasn't really gonna work forever, you know. It's like, yeah, there can't be just
A lot
one
of
person.
work.
Yeah, and I have a lot of responsibilities.
Right.
So.
What else is going to be going on then with the store? Just business as usual?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Any shows coming up?
Yeah. Actually, I don't think we have.
I'll have another.
Ryan. Yeah,
Can I
sure.
have that
Yeah.
over? Nice.
Ryan Tetzloff, Cold Sweat is coming up in March,
Okay.
but
The last one. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, I've been adjusting to a more permanent position as a sound tech at the Laughing Sun as well, so that's been taking up a lot of my.
I still got to go in there and check that out.
That's
the new
great.
place.
It's
Heard
awesome.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love tailor-made barbecue. When I heard that, I was like, what?
And now they have Aaron Banks in the kitchen too, and he's like he's the old Mr. Delicious Cheesecake
Yeah.
Factory. Did you ever go there? Yeah. Yeah, and
Man.
he's head chef at the Sun now too. so.
Right on.
Yeah, it was really good. It was better as Mr. Delicious, man. Way better.
I hope it brings cheesecake back, which is what everybody's been saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure if it sells, you know.
I want jalapeno cheesecake yesterday. Yeah.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Let me look and see if I had something I forgot. This is why I hate lists, because I don't memorize it beforehand. That's what I should do. I don't know, man. Do you have anything you want to just talk about? Like what's going on with your music? That's what I wanted. Yeah, what's in store with the music?
I have a solo album that's coming out
Okay.
on vinyl record in March that I'm it's kind of in the process of like.
Did you record it all yourself?
Sky Freilich
Okay.
helped me. Yeah, so
Nice.
we kind of tag teamed it.
Right on.
Yeah,
He's good.
he's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I've been thinking about what I should do. I just don't know yet.
Yeah,
Kinda
it's
like-
nice to have one other person. It
Yeah.
really is. I've been, now that we have like recording software and a decent microphone at home and stuff, I've been recording pretty much every night. And so I've been kind of getting used to doing it alone, but I'd never really done that before. So
I did the very first thing I ever, like on an iPad with GarageBand. That was the very first thing I ever recorded.
Yeah, I tried that too.
So it was pretty crazy, and it actually came out like sound-wise okay. You know, that's how powerful those Apple microphones are.
Yeah,
they're pretty gnarly. I've realized, but. Fucking what can you do? There is nothing like having, like when I worked with Dan on my second one, that's incomplete now, of course, because he left, but like when I was working with him starting out, man, like the amount of just shenanigans we had to go through, and then I was trying to teach myself how to play without singing, or how to sing without playing guitar at the same time, because it had been so long since I had done that.
Oh, sure.
I had to hold the guitar in my hands. And then sing without playing it.
Wow.
Like keep my just
That's interesting.
As we were because I was just like, I cannot sing this without actually playing it.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is so adjusted to that now. Even though I've been on a stage live hammered and singing to a full band, no problem. It was the recording process. It was so weird to me. So I just held it for comfort. And then I sang and I got it done. But that was weird. It was weird realizing that. We were like, well, it's at home.
That's what,
It's at home sitting there collecting dust until I find another, person to work with and shit like that. But man, the podcast has taken up a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's cool.
My other ventures too. But you know all about that. There's a ton of shit going on at the same time. You're like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
What about it?
Yeah. So is that all you do, is play with church bands?
I mean, I work at a computer place.
Right.
Yeah, and I hate that job. And yeah, I play guitar with a church band. Like, I also play league pool. I do amateur carpentry. You can see my guitar stand over there, making them out of using pallet wood.
Nice.
And next, I'm gonna make a bench for somebody.
Right on. No, I was just curious if you played in another band or not.
Oh
You
no,
do
I
so
should.
much
I really,
sometime?
I want to get into a new, better band.
You're kind of jamming.
We were jamming the other night. Yeah.
There you go.
And then also you were playing with like Megan
And Evan, Evan's great at bass, I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, Evan?
Yeah.
I think we're thinking of the same Evan. What's his last name?
Morganson?
Yep.
Yeah.
I had him in my college class, dude. And it was crazy. Cause like,
So did I.
Yeah. Wait, was it the guitar class?
No,
Yeah.
it
I was in guitar ensemble with him
It
at
was
BSC.
small jazz
Okay.
ensemble at
Yeah,
BSC.
and he was the bass player, of course, And there was one song, because I was being top bass, so Doug, did you guys ever meet
I
Doug?
love Doug.
Yeah, I love
Klein,
Doug
yeah,
too. Doug put me on bass for one of the songs, so I haven't had to go on guitar. And it was for, I forgot what song it was, but it was hilarious, because I was out of my element, he was out of his element a little bit, but he's a slayer. Like he's way better than me. He had it under control. But me, I was playing bass and I had just been taught bass, so it was just a weird experience. But yeah, I love Evan. Every time I see him around town, I always, hey man, how's it going? Still slapping the bass? He just looks at me like, yep.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
I took all my first guitar lessons from Doug at BSC.
Yeah, dude, what a guy. Doug's crazy. I actually messaged him the other day because I was thinking about him a lot one day. I was writing music and just thinking about how much he helped me, music-wise. And I messaged him on Facebook. We're not friends or anything, and I just took, 2 semesters with him. And I was a part of the first recording class. When they brought it up, it was me and I was friends with Jimmy Geffro, who's doing really good too for himself. And me and Jimmy played a lot of music together. But Doug, man, he helped me so much. So I messaged him the other day, and I was just like, "Hey, man, you probably don't remember me. You told me I should have been a music teacher, but I got busted with weed, or a professor, so that probably isn't gonna happen. But I just want to tell you, I'm still writing music. I feel like I'm doing really good on stage, and a lot of it is due to you. So thank you. You know, like. And I told him about, like, I even know if you want to check out the podcast, you can do it here. I talk about you sometimes, just like this. You know, you know. I didn't get a reply. I wasn't expecting it. Yeah. You know, I hit send. I just felt like I really, you know, like that was years ago, and still. What he, you know, as a good teacher did for me is amazing.
I looked him up in the phone book a little over a year ago, like a year and a half.
Who uses a phone book anymore? Even a year and a half ago.
Scrabble chain.
Ink and paper, man.
I haven't used the phone book in like 10 years, bro.
Like,
my grandparents get one.
listed.
I just look at
He's
that.
listed. If you're one.
Is he? Of course. He probably has
we gotta edit out.
He's
said
old
his
as
last
fuck.
name earlier,
No offense,
but,
Doug. You're old as fuck, but you got a landline. I got a landline, but I live with my grandparents. That's my roommates. But, you know,
like, get one.
I actually asked him if he knew any guitarists that would want to play in the church band. Like, and he said, "Oh no, I'll ask," you know, but never found anybody. I even called him back, you know, like, you know,
he probably didn't even look.
No, he said I mean, like, I trust him.
Actually, you know what? He probably did.
Yeah.
I'm being an asshole and cynical right now. No, he definitely did. He's a nice guy.
But yeah, it was pretty funny that he couldn't find anybody, though. You know, he was just like, yeah, nobody wanted to really do that, Brian. I was like, yeah.
I don't want to.
I understand.
This is the only advice I'm going to give you tonight is stop doing that.
Yeah.
And then go find a band. I'll join a band with you.
I gotta chime in here though, because Pat's in the band. These guys could be on tour, like, and I would go. Like, I'm not kidding.
Pat's great at guitar. He blows me out of the water. Yeah.
Hands down, the best like church band ever. Yeah, and Bismarck, easy.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever band.
It's like
no. I got
it's
something
like
to
punk
beat it.
new wave.
I got something to beat it.
All right.
Whatever band Aaron Singer is in. I don't know if you guys ever met that kid. Aaron Singer.
Yeah,
and Trevor Singer. I lived with Trevor for a while when we had that party house here in Bismarck in college. But 11th and D, you know, like but. Basically, Trevor lived with us, and Aaron, man, he'd come over and he'd grab my Ibanez, and I've never seen a kid shred that hard. And Trevor's a great musician too, but I have Aaron on, you know, shout out to Aaron, you're doing great, buddy, I love you. But he got messed up on a lot of crazy shit, like drugs, and you know, but then he, you know, got with God, and he's clean, and he's part of some church band, but God, I just say whatever band has him, you're up there. I don't care how shitty other people are. You got him. You're fucking killing it. You know. And I see his videos, man. I want to listen just to show you. You know. I don't know if you guys have him on Facebook and see him, but god damn, this kid is. You know. Shout out to you, buddy. You're amazing. Your skill just has gone up. You know. And I'd name a song and we'd be partying together at 11th and D. I'd be like, alright, metal song, because he was proficient in metal, so I didn't want to really make it hard for him, but I was just like, fucking August Burns Red, Mariners Trench, you know, and you know, like, and he god damn, you know, like, I looked up to it so much. I was just almost enthralled with it, you know, like, I was just like, this is amazing. And now he just writes church music with no lyrics, which, you know, not gonna lie, is awesome, in my opinion. Because he finds ways to express things in the way he plays. And this computer is so fucking slow.
Dude, I think the router, it's actually downstairs neighbors, is a little slow sometimes. I don't want to speak ill of it. I do pay to use it.
That's all good.
By the way, you owe me like 30 cents.
Do I? That's alright. I got that for you.
I'm kidding.
Huh. Well, what the shit? Where are you, Aaron? Just search Aaron. It'll find. But anyway, man, yeah, he kills it. I'll keep looking while we talk. But, I don't know. So I put you at 1 or 2. For best church band.
Oh yeah.
Whatever he has, it's right up there next to you guys.
Dude, we're playing all the big name hits off of Christian Top 40.
He might have deleted his Facebook, man. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like sometimes I feel like it's corny that it's a cover band technically. We haven't written any of our own songs, but at the same time, it's all new music to me, you know. And so I'm having a lot of fun playing the guitar, and I feel like I have learned a lot, you know, about just playing the guitar and singing, you know, at the same time on a stage in front of people, you know.
Yeah.
And like that egomania, man. I just.
Well, that's I heard a comedian say it one time. He's like, I have ego. He's like, I have a big ego. He said, like, and he meant it in the way of like ego, id, and what's the third one? Your ID, your ego, and
it's either super ego or it's ego, super ego,
and he was explaining it like that. He's like, my regular ego is huge because I'm not like super ego where I want to murder people, but he's like, I love being on stage, you know, like it's a huge drive for me. Like that's where I am. That's my thing. Like, and then he said the reason why I know that is because I've tried to do shows with other comedians on stage at the same time with me, and I want to kick them off the fucking stage. He's like, I want to be by myself. He wants all the attention. And that's how some of them work, man. That's how some musicians work too. It's crazy.
Like I listened to a podcast, Doug Loves Movies. Like Doug Benson, he's a comedian. He has like a little trivia podcast where he has comedians on, and he asks them pretty loaded questions to get them to say stupid, funny things, trying to figure out the answers to these. Because like it's ridiculous movie trivia. You know, it's not super hard, but you'll never get it right. Just like unless it's by luck or like, you know, it's just really funny to listen to, man. You know, but he gets 3 other comedians on stage, and I swear it's like herding cats. How he's like telling them to shut up sometimes because like he's trying to run this trivia podcast also, you know. He's got all these comedians on there.
There's a lot of podcasts with a lot of different like niches, like starting up like within the last 5 years.
Yeah,
like it's just really like almost oversaturated in a way with certain parts of the United States. By what I mean is like people in California, you know, there's at least like probably 5,000 to 6,000 different podcasts there. You know, and the biggest one though is, you know, Joe Rogan's, you know, like he's at the top and he's in California. But like North Dakota, I mean, you got me, who else does a podcast here? I've tried to meet people. I know Travis Lang tried doing a podcast.
I know Travis.
Yeah, he did 3 episodes, and
he's
like I don't even care talking shit because I asked him to be on the podcast and do a joint one, and he said no. So yeah, whatever. So that's now back down to 1. I was told there's one in Minot. I forgot the name already. Never heard of them. And then there's probably 2 or 3 in Fargo. I'm assuming. I don't even know. I'm just throwing it out because there's got to be some in Fargo and Moorhead and Grand Forks. I mean, what do you guys think? Especially on college campuses and shit.
With the population density there, yeah. I mean, they might even have a class for it, you know, in the college. Podcasting? Yeah, elective.
Highly doubt that. It ain't that.
Dude, you should teach it. You should go teach it.
No, they shouldn't. 'Cause I'd be out of a job. Well, this is a fake job, but this is what I consider a fake job.
You can't fire yourself.
Yeah, it's still a fake job, though. But anyway, you know, yeah, I like it a lot. But as a class, I don't know, I feel like I'd laugh through it because it'd be all wrong. I'd be like, come on, guys, you're teaching this wrong. You can't teach podcasting.
It'd be nice to get all the feedback.
Dude, it'd be super sweet. Like, it'd be impossible for you to grade all the
here's
projects.
The thing. That's basically comedy/acting classes. That's what it is, you know, essentially. Which everybody says are bullshit. Like every comedian, every actor
You don't have to dictate the content. You just have to help them with the technical.
Especially in Hollywood, you know, where the whole mecca is, basically. I'm getting blown up too, though.
I was going to say, I don't think you have to, you know, try to teach what they'll try to do for content, you know, just help them with the technical aspect and make the assignment that they just have to do something every week, you know, a 20-minute project, because it's going to take you forever to listen to all the fucking projects.
Right, yeah.
I mean, presuming you or I are the teacher.
Well, here's the biggest thing that I believe in podcasting is it's a super expression of free speech.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, in North Dakota, there are some things I cannot say on my podcast, and that's fucked. But I can say a lot of other things that are super rude and mean, but I can still say it.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like in acting class, they would tell you, I mean, what's there to say? I mean, like don't say that. That defeats the purpose of a podcast, in my opinion.
That's the biggest objective to you? Would be that people would try to say you can't say that?
Yep. Yeah, I hate that.
I
think it's a thing that I think it's a thing that's like the death of radio.
Sure.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
having bosses telling you what you can and cannot say on air.
Well,
You know,
it
and
could
then,
be-
yes, there are some. This is what I'm saying. There are some things you cannot say on air.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. There might be kids listening. You know, there are certain. You know, and smart people know those rules. You know, like you have a common sense. But like, you know, I hear about, especially in Canada, it has a very different definition of freedom of speech. They don't have freedom of speech in Canada. That's crazy. Like, there's a comedian right now who's being sued millions of dollars because he said some joke about this kid with epilepsy and or some fucking disorder, and it was a morbid joke. But it was a joke, and he's a high-level comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, actually, and explained all this. This is how I know my news. But anyway, yeah, like, he's being sued, and he's not in jail time or anything. They're just fucking raping him with money, you know? And that's their freedom of speech. You know, they don't have any, you know? Like, and here I love the fact that I can say a lot of shit without having
people don't
repercussions.
have to like it, but it's
repercussions.
important.
They don't have to like
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But I know some people do. You know, I have some views. So somebody likes it, you know. But it's a thing I value a lot doing this. Is I like that. And that's over time from doing this 20 some times now. Is like there's been moments where I'm like, should I leave that or should I let it stay? You know, but I feel like if they did like a course on podcasting, it'd be very constricted.
It wouldn't be very
I
academic.
bet you money they already have one. No.
They probably do, and it probably sucks. That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't be very academic of them to like.
But that's how a lot of these colleges in the United States are turning. You can't do anything like you know, like what's going on in like Portland and shit like that, where like you know, they're booing, you know, and what they're saying is, you know, like liberal kids are booing, you know, teachers out and shit like that for basically them saying, no, I will not refer to like the 72 different, you know, acronyms of your sex,
right?
You know, like stuff like that. And you know what? And I don't think they should be, you know, harassed. And they were like harassed off camera. It's a crazy story. Look it up. But anyway, you know, I mean, like it's like guys like Jordan Peterson and stuff stuff like that. But you know, that's the great thing about our country is you kind of can say what you think,
right?
You know. And it wasn't like he did it in a negative way either. He was actually just like, no, you can't force me to say that. That's all I'm saying. You know, he's like, if you want me to refer to you, sir, I'm going to refer to you, sir. That's what he said, too. He's like, but just don't force me. Don't face jail time at me for not obeying that.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what the whole fiasco was about. he actually agreed with him and then said, but I don't think it's right. I should be forced with jail time.
Right.
Which is what they were trying to say.
Yeah, they're trying to lock
crazy.
him up.
It's craziness. But that's a way out there. It was nuts. But anyway, like that's the world we're living in now. And it's kind of crazy. And I believe in free speech, you know, and I believe you should be able to say what you want, and then you can face the repercussions. I mean, of the people, you know. That's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, defining repercussions is really hard.
Yeah, and that too, you know, like what is, correct and what is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up to you.
I think it's good that it's an issue, though. I mean,
Yeah. But I think, what's going on right now as a whole, it's just kind of like we're all holding our breaths, waiting, until something crazy happens again, and it's such a, I don't know, it's a craziness, man. I don't understand it. But that's the world we live in these days. All we gotta do is play music, though, and smile, and we'll be all right.
try to learn.
Right. I tried to make that funny, and it wasn't. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Yeah.
You see this?
Yeah. These beers are really good, though.
They grew
Light
on me.
always on?
Yep.
Or are they just diamonds?
They're diamonds.
Yeah.
I love it.
They just look like they're glowing.
Anyway, man, how long have we been going? An hour and 21. That's pretty good. But anyway, man, fucking, I suppose we'll... Actually, I still got beer left, but... I'm trying to think. So you got any... I know I asked if Rhythm Records had any shows. Do you have any shows coming up that people can check out?
Well, I run sound at the Sun all the time, so there's
Are you
that.
jamming up there, though?
Honestly, I am somewhat on a break of playing until March.
Okay.
I'll probably, I don't know, if like a drink thing happens again. I had a really good time playing there solo. That was the most fun I've had playing solo in a long time.
It's kind of built for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was just fun because, I don't know, something about, like, it took a lot of pressure off. I didn't feel like I had to do any of the things that I usually feel like
Well,
I
Natalie's got
try to
that
do.
shit on lock.
Yeah,
Like,
she's doing a
she's
really
got
good
the
job.
setup, like it's all on her iPad or whatever
Yeah.
she's using, and she does a really good job. But that's technology, man. I'm not used to that shit even.
It gets
I'm
fun.
used to soundboards.
The best
and
way to
shit,
learn
you know?
is by throwing yourself into the...
Yeah,
you know.
well, that's what I know I would do.
Yeah.
if I had it, I'd be like, all right, how do I figure this out now?
Yeah, but I'm going on tour again with the Shaky Calls band in March. So I'm just kind of, I might have a couple Sun gigs with Boreal Gardens. It's another band.
You don't have any confirmed dates though yet.
I think we do. I just don't know them off the top of my head.
Okay.
1 second here.
Well, they can find out on the Shaky Calls. Probably
Yep,
Facebook
Shaky
page.
Calls Facebook page, Boreal Gardens Facebook page,
Okay.
or my Facebook page.
Right on.
Just gonna plug myself. You can always stop by Rhythm Records and check out the pallet wood shelves. Their choice.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
always for sale.
And also go to Rhythm Records and check out the record store in Bismarck.
Oh yeah, there's records on those shelves. Buy a record.
Yeah, they're awesome. And check
Preserve
out their live
physical
music
media.
there.
Preserve physical media.
Well, shit, man. I had fun. Oh, you found them? Found dates?
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh,
I gotta run downstairs really quick and hand sign my keys.
sorry everybody for the silence. He's trying to find the dates so we can give them to you.
February 16th, Boreal Gardens plays at the Laughing Sun.
Perfect.
That's my gig right now.
Nice. Yeah, man. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Dude, it was really fun, man. Yeah.
I had fun too. We'll do this again.
All right.
Now that we've done one, we could do two. you know?
Sounds good.
That's what I always say, man.
Yep.
So.
I know you want to come into the record store too, so we'll try to
Let's
do it
that.
there.
Let's do that.
It's a
sometime.
good space.
I know. I love it there, man. It sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Like I was really excited, but I suppose did you shut it down early today? Just 'cause?
No, I just we have a part-time employee that's really needed some hours, and I was like, I could use a day off.
Nice.
So I went
So
to
you just didn't even want to be there. You were like, I just want to be at home.
I went to bed. I went to bed at 6:30 this morning, and I slept until about 4:30 today.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, dude, it was great.
Now that I work just at Jimmy's, I basically don't have to go until 4. So I just I just fucking stay up and I do my streams and by the way, I'm plugging this for myself. I got the Birds Fucking Cold podcast on YouTube that these are posted to, but I also do live streaming, so if you guys like video games and shit like that, check it out. It's usually, it's called the Drunk Cast Gaming Stream, and it's me and my buddy get super trash and we try and play video games. Nice. That's basically what we do. On camera, like live, which is scary. But it's ridiculous. We'll play stupid games like Fortnite, and then we'll play some other good games, so we'll just jump around and have fun with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have a YouTube page?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, everybody told me for a year. They're like, get the podcast on the YouTube page. So I procrastinated forever. And I was like, I can't find a movie program that for free that'll let me put a picture up in the audio.
Yeah, what are you using?
It's on here. I can show you afterwards.
Awesome.
But it's free.
And, that's exactly what
it
I
does.
need.
It's awesome and it works. And it took me 5 minutes to find.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, wow, it's been a year and I didn't do this.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. But a lot of the shit on those old podcasts would get pulled instantly. I mean, copyright for all the music we played, for fucking, videos we played. Like, even though it is only audio, that's a song, and you're using it, especially if I'm making ad revenue, I gotta not, they'll pull it basically if they find out. Which, I mean, hopefully they find out, you know what I mean? Like, then I'm getting listeners. Yeah. It's getting big enough where they're taking notice.
Well.
Sorry, guys, we're going to ramble now until we're done drinking. But
What's that from on your necklace?
This is an interesting story. I'll let you look at it so you understand.
It looks familiar.
So when I broke my foot when I was 14, this is an awesome story, but an angry story and a very sad story actually.
I've got one.
So basically, I broke my foot, and it was my tibia, the smaller bone right here in this leg on my right leg. What happened was I fell on ice, and my foot landed flat, and then my kneecap went all the way to the ground, and the foot was still flat. They were surprised I had broke only one bone. Anyway, they fix it, they put a plate in it. I lived with that till I don't know, I think I was fucking in my 20s, like early 20s, and I finally want to get it out because it's bothering me too much. I get this doctor, I'm not going to say his name because I tried suing him, but anyway, this doctor removes it. Tells me everything went great, you can go home, here's your painkillers. And so I go home and recover, and there's a lot of pain during it, like a shit ton of pain. And so my regular doctor hooks me up with pain meds, of course, and then and that was just like he was doing his job. I'm not telling on him or anything like that. He actually thought I was in real pain because I was. And so he helped me out with the second script because the first doctor was an asshole and so it said it was in your head. Anyway, months pass. I live with this pain still, and I get super addicted to the painkillers. And it goes on for a good year and a half after the surgery. And so basically I'm living with my buddy Nady at the time. I had been jumping houses in Mandan and Bismarck, places to live, while I was becoming a manager at American in Bismarck, and it was just kind of a crazy time. And my buddy Nady and his girlfriend were there, Nate Wiedrich. I don't know. He knows this story because he was there, and he's one of my best friends. We lost our friend Blaze a long time ago, and we've all gravitated toward each other a little bit more because of that. And so I lived with him. He gave me a place to sleep, which was awesome. And I paid rent and everything. I was doing good. And I go to the doctor because I got a cold. The doctor, looks over my record. It's in a walk-in even. I wasn't expecting this. He asked me, he's like, "So how's your leg?" He's like, "I see on your charts, for some odd reason, a walk-in doctor looked at all my charts," and I'm like, "Oh, can I be honest with you? Like, I came in here for a cold and shit like that, but if you ask about my leg, I've been having pain in it for a year and a half since my surgery." And of course, I'm not telling him I'm addicted to painkillers or anything like that. I'd probably been looking for.
You probably can see it on your chart anyways, you know.
Yeah, and he, you know, he knew, you know, and stuff like that. I wouldn't even ask for painkillers. I was getting them off the street at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had implemented that new system. I almost got busted. And so basically, yeah, he's like, well, you still have really good health insurance, man. Do you want to x-ray it? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? You know, maybe there is something wrong, you know? And we x-ray it, and he comes to after a while, I'm just sitting in that room going, no, I want to get out of here, you know? I know there's nothing wrong, it's in my head. That was like the thing that that old doctor had kept telling me, it's in my head. So the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, I'm addicted to painkillers because of pain that I think is phantom. Like, this is all just a vicious cycle of bullshit. And I knew it. I'm smart. But I accepted it that that had become my life.
Right, you weren't trying to lie to yourself about something.
Like, I knew I was addicted to it, but it's such an insane concept that when you say it when you're sober now, you're just like, what? Anyway, you know, like, he comes to the door, he's like, come out here, you know, and everybody listening, he uses his two fingers, you know, like, come, you know, like, with me right now. And I thought I was in trouble, the look on his face.
Yeah.
Brings me out, puts up these x-rays, and there is this, the thing I wear on my necklace. This was actually, so imagine the screw
Just
the other way. The screw would be flipped, so like this. That is in my leg still. It's one screw, and then the jagged, bent piece of metal. Like, this is in my bone, and this jagged piece that is going outward, which would be straight into my skin.
Yeah.
That was still in my leg. And so he's like, did you know this was in here? And I was just like, because he thought I was fucking with him when I told him that I was having pain in my foot. He's like, be honest with me, like, and this is just some random doctor. He's like, no wonder it fucking hurts. He's like, you got this screw that's still in your foot with a piece of metal, nothing holding the other end of the metal from going like this, like a little seesaw. You know? He's like, that's just shaking around in your foot, and then he's like, it's bent right here because they have the sideways.
And you weren't able to sue that other doctor?
Well, I'll get to it. Right. That was like sideways like this. So he's like, this could be cutting tendons, your skin, like your muscle. He's like, everything surrounding your bone that there is being cut by
the
that.
scar tissue.
He's like, and you've had that in your foot for. And then I looked at him like, I had no idea. He looked at me. He's like, get a good attorney. And my uncle's an attorney, Scott Solon in Beulah. And so, you know, first, you know, I'll tell this little bit because it's very important. I went back to my friend's house after I got a CD with the x-rays, and then I got hard copies too. Like, I wanted everything at that moment. Anger flooding through me. Like, the most anger I'd ever felt since a long time. And I grew up with a really crazy mom, like, just, you know, shit that I couldn't control that I always hated, that gave me a lot of anger. And so I'm driving back to my buddy's place in Mandan from the walk-in, like, in North Bismarck. So it's a long drive. I think I smoked through a pack of cigarettes. You know, I get to his house, you know, I walk in. He's like, what's up, man? You could tell it right in my face. And I just... You know, I dropped my shit and I grabbed my buddy and I gave him a hug and I started bawling. Like, I was just like, I'm not crazy. And I kept saying, because he had a talk with me and said, yo, bro, you're doing too many painkillers. Like, it's going to kill you. Like, because he was not about that. And he was just like, you are doing so many. You know, like, how you can even afford to do as many as you are is crazy. Like, but I'm worried about you, because I had never been the same since Blaze died, since this foot thing, you know. And I started, you know, and he's like, dude, sit down. like I'm crying on him, going, I'm not crazy, and he has no fucking idea what I'm talking about. And so I show him everything. I had all the hard copies there, you know, and I showed him the x-rays. I'm like, look. And he looked at me, he's like, oh my God, the pain in your foot. Because I had talked to him. You know, when you get really drunk and you talk to your best friends about shit you don't say normally.
Right.
He had known about my phantom pains. And he's like, he then realized what I was feeling.
Yeah.
Like, he was just like, because he knew I thought I was crazy.
Yeah. You can't really just flip a switch.
Yeah, and it's crazy because then he started getting emotional. He's like, dude, sue him. He's like, fuck that. Fuck. You know, like, he was so fucking supportive. And it was a crazy feeling.
Yeah.
And after that, I got off killers.
Yeah.
After I got it removed, you know, and after I got this, you know, and I got it removed and everything, and it became a thing where the doctor had covered his ass within the paperwork, basically, where the paperwork said that he had told me that he left a piece in it with the screw because he couldn't remove it. And the reason because he couldn't remove it, if you look at the top of this screw, it's stripped. It's stripped. And so that was the reason for leaving it in my bone. Because he couldn't remove it. It took the doctor. It took the doctor after he cut me open again. Because that doctor was from a different clinic. I would not go back to this. Like, it was whatever was St. A's. Yeah. Went to St. A's because it was stand for doctor. And that doctor's like, yeah, I cut you open. I didn't even know through the records they would even give us that it was stripped. So it took me an extra 30 minutes. That's why your surgery lasted longer than 30 minutes. It took an hour because then we had to widen the bone around this and to pull it out to unscrew it manually. Yeah, just like in a piece of wood, you know, just like that, except harder. Yeah. And so, you know, eventually I did get all the medical documents from them because I fucking had to go through a bunch of hoops and ladders to get it. I had to go to this office, get a referral to that office. Got it, and it said I had told him, and I took it to my uncle, the attorney. He's like, it's basically hearsay at this point. It's a guy who got busted with weed against a doctor, but this doctor had already been filed against 4 other times, like for other shit. I could have risked it, but and it would have been fine. My uncle is my attorney. It was for free, but he kind of looked at me and was like, you know, man, like, I'd let it go.
With your life.
Let it go. He's like, this is just gonna breed more. You know, of the feelings you had. Like, you're so free at this moment. Because I had talked to him. Like, I just feel the burden's gone. Like, it's not in my head anymore. You know, and keeping that to yourself is so deadly for yourself. Yeah. And so he told me, he's like, we can either do it and you can make a ton of money, or, you know, we have a really good chance of losing, and then you're just going to be disappointed again. You know, he's like, why don't you just accept that, you know, move on. And I did, but I wear this as a reminder that I'm not crazy. It's kind of crazy to say that, but it's a reminder that everything is happening because of cause and effect. Yeah. It's not just because it's and sometimes it is for people have mental illnesses, all this shit. But I'm a very realistic person, and I like to remind myself about that. Yeah. You know, like, never to believe what people tell you. Always trust your gut instinct. Because that whole year and a half, I knew something was wrong with my foot, but I would not believe it. You know what I mean? Like it's so fucked to think of it like that, but at the same time, I mean, you're trusting a doctor. You're trusting him, you know, and I should have never done that. So that's a reminder, you know. It comforts me a little bit, which is psychotic in itself, too. But anyway, everybody listen to that. It's like a crazy story.
I know they use a power tool typically, you know, to remove those, but like,
you know what,
that must have been like so bad when he fucked it up, when he stripped the head there. Yeah, he must have been like, it just skipped off, and that must have been so bad too.
Remember how I told?
Like, can you imagine that?
Yeah, like skipping off like with a tool, and I'm using it on my hand, and like imagine it being inside your leg.
Well, yeah, that's why I said right away it hurt a lot more than I thought it should.
I'm just getting the
because I remember breaking my leg the first time and having the plate put in. I remembered that, and to have it removed, I was like, this shouldn't hurt like this, you know. And to be told that it was in your head, it said repeatedly, you know, and then finally they just stop answering your phone calls. You know, like it's a little nutty. But what can you do, man? I don't know. Just be careful out there, everybody. Double check your doctors.
Where'd you get that done? No,
I do not want to say it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about getting my
off air.
Yeah.
I will tell you for sure off air. I just
still
not
got a
on
plate
air.
in there.
I don't want to get sued. You know, he's lucky he didn't get sued.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back, I should have just done it. Like, I would have had a lot more money. But I was young. What do you do? I don't know, man. I had fun though.
Me
My
too,
beer's
man.
almost gone.
It's nice getting to know you.
Yeah,
A little bit.
nice to get to know you.
Little
too.
context. It's
We
nice.
will do it again.
All right.
That's what I always tell like the first time guests. It's always like not the 3 hour and a half, 3.5 hour long ones, but it's like enough time for me to get to know you a little bit,
For sure.
and then we can have some fun
Yeah.
the next time and shit like that. So
Solid, man.
yeah, for sure. And I'd love to do one at the record store too. I think that'd be super sick.
Done.
Yeah. What the hell is that, Brandy?
No, it's Malbec wine.
Oh, some wine.
Yeah.
Some wine. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. We had a blast with you. I enjoyed it, and hopefully this actually saves.
What's up, guys? You made it. Yeah, pretty. Sorry for that last story. They asked me about a necklace I wear that it's very dear to me, and I described it, which I've never done before. That was a very personal moment, so I apologize for that, guys, if it kind of was a Debbie Downer at the last of the show. But anyway, man, did I have a great time with Richard. He's amazing. His roommate's also hilarious. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And again, we're sponsored by Many Visions Apparel, and you can find them at manyvisionsapparel.com. Run by my buddy Bobby, who's on the podcast several times. Amazing company, amazing products. And also, I believe I don't have any shows coming up, so I'm kind of in the clear. We're looking for podcast guests, or I am, I guess. It's not a we, it's just me. Looking for more podcast guests. You can check out also our YouTube channel now. This will be on YouTube, but you got to search Burt's Fucking Cold Podcast. The link, it's hard to get because of the name. I'm going to fix this eventually, but get it through Facebook if you're listening on SoundCloud, because on the YouTube page, there's several other things. I do a solo stream, and then also the Drunk Cast gaming segment of the podcast where you actually get to see us and see me and guests, and we're getting hammered and trying to play video games. It's a good time. Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this podcast. I know I did. Thank you, Richard, for coming on, and thank you for listening. This is the Birds Fun Cold Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Latest.